Ben Shaw from Aldbury will be walking 100 kilometres in 24 hours along the Grand Union Canal to raise funds and awareness for an ultra-rare condition. It's called H2 neurodevelopmental disorder. And Ben joins me now. Good morning, Ben.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Tell everybody who's got H2 in your family and how does it affect your family?
So my daughter, Autumn, was diagnosed in January with it. And it's a ultra-rare genetic condition that impacts individuals globally. So it affects them affects them physically and cognitively. And so she finds it hard to walk, to talk, and to learn.
Oh gosh, that is a lot, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been very, very hard in obviously seeing anyone's child struggle, but also in trying to find out how we can best support her and even just getting to a diagnosis as well.
And how have you done that? Because if it's ultra rare, I'm guessing that, do you have to go and see specialists somewhere? Who deals with H2? Because I've never heard of it before. And when I was reading about you this morning on the show, I thought I don't know. I've not heard this on the radio before. So you're certainly raising awareness today. But where do you go for support and help and advice and information?
Yeah, well, it's been a very strange journey in that nobody's heard of it, obviously, in it being so ultra rare. And so we went through, when we first started noticing that Autumn was delayed in her development, we went through a whole round and pretty much 2 years of tests and different therapies with the NHS, and eventually got access to genetic testing. And it was through that genetic testing, as almost the last resort in not finding anything else, that they found that she had a misspelling in one of her genes, which was a H2 gene. And it is ultra rare. There's only about 150 individuals around the world who have been found so far with it. Yeah,
oh my goodness.
That's part of, has been part of the challenge, is that we've then been going through and helping to educate the healthcare system about the condition, and what the prognosis looks like, what's the best ways to support her, and how we can try and, as a parent community of all the children impacted, try and push for research and try and push for support.
Now, I know as well, so you've got Autumn, but you've just had another baby, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. So that was actually part of how Autumn's diagnosis got sped up. There was a year-long waiting list, but then we luckily fell pregnant with our newborn, who's called River, and that meant that they wanted to find out if the condition was potentially hereditary, and so we got quicker access to the results, which was amazing, because it then meant that we managed to find the charity and the parent community and the right support for Autumn.
And was it hereditary?
No, so it's not. It's called a de novo mutation, which is essentially random. If you have the mutation, then you have a 50% chance of passing it on. So Autumn would have a 50% chance of passing it on.
Right. So tell me, you're raising awareness, obviously, and how did the walk come about? And what's the significance of the walk?
So it was from finding out her diagnosis in January. We've obviously wanted to, just as any parent would, just want to try and help as much as we can. And we've had great support from the NHS and from friends and family and charities. And so we wanted to try and do something to give back, but also helps raise awareness of all rare conditions as well. And one of the big challenges with H2 is that a lot of the children and individuals do struggle to walk. And incredibly, Autumn managed to learn how to walk last year. After lots of hours and having two very pushy parents trying to get her to learn. But she managed to do it and inspire us all. She's still not, she's not running or jumping and still needs a lot of help getting around, but she's been a big inspiration. And so I wanted to try and take that inspiration and was looking for something which felt like a similar size challenge to someone who can walk to what Autumn encounters every day. And so we've got the Grand Union Canal near us, and a frequent spot of the cafes and pubs along it around the local area. I work in London, got lots of friends in London, and so decided to set a challenge of walking 100 kilometres in 24 hours from Bletchley to the Camden Lock.
That is, it's a lot. Obviously, it's a long way. And you're going to have to get a wriggle on, aren't you? 100K in 24 hours. Yeah,
it's doable. It's doable. It's I think the biggest challenge, it's going to be a mental challenge as much as a physical one in terms of the distance, and needing lots of blister plasters, I think.
Yeah. Have you been doing some practicing and leading up to it?
Yeah, so I've got an amazing group of friends who are joining me on the journey. Right. And we've got a little WhatsApp group of encouraging each other with lots of different training walks that we've all been doing to try and get our heads around what it's actually like to just do non-stop walking. Yeah,
and I guess you're right. It is that mental challenge, isn't it? Because just non-stop and just keep going through the night. And I guess once you've got your head round it, actually, I've spoken to people that have done this sort of thing before, and they've sort of said once you get into the nighttime bit, and actually when you see that, the dark closing in, but then you see the sunrise and all of that, and they say actually it's quite lovely.
Yeah, we've got. We were looking at the route, and I think we're going to be hitting sunrise just as we pass Wembley Stadium, which should be an amazing little bit of inspiration for the last 2 kilometres.
And I totally get why, Autumn's journey and the fact that you've helped her to walk. What an amazing milestone. And the fact that she's doing that has spurred you on and gave you the idea. If she can do that, then a similar challenge would be 100K in 24 hours.
Yeah, it was trying to get to something that hopefully, if she can understand it one day, that she'd feel proud of me.
Yeah. And what sort of target have you got, charity-wise?
So we're trying to raise 20 grand. We are raising it for the Yellow Brick Road project, which is a charity that was set up by one of the first parents who was diagnosed back in 2017. And the Yellow Brick Road project directly supports the research labs who are trying to study the cure, and there is hope for a cure. And it also then connects all the parents around the world to try and give them hope, give them support, and give them a community.
Well, look, Ben, I wish you the best of luck. You're doing it on the 9th, aren't you, of September? So only a couple of weeks to go. Are you? Have you got a fundraising page or any other information if people are listening and thinking, you know what, I've got a bit of money, I want to give you a $5 or a $10 or whatever, they can go and have a look at your Just Giving?
Yes, yeah. So if you just search Great H2 Walk in Google, then the campaign page should pop up as the first result. It's Great H2 Walk.
Ben, thank you for your time, and thank you for coming on and talking to us about H2 as well, and, just giving us a little bit more information. Thank you.
Thank you so much.